What's up, gamers? It's your host, Cobra, and today we've got a video that I have been excited to make for the last 6 months. It is the Guild of Guardians pre-alpha demo. Before we jump into the gameplay, a couple of notes. Now, first of all, I started this demo about a week after everybody else. I had an issue with my initial game code, and luckily the team was able to resolve it for me. It took a little bit of time, but that's the nature of things. But I got a code a couple of days ago, and the app is finally downloaded and running great on my iPhone. So we are able to capture some gameplay now and share it with you folks, which is fantastic because, as you know, here at the Freeroll, we are very excited and very confident about this project and this game. And I've been waiting for a long time for this day to come so I can start sharing some of this with you guys. Now, I'm going to do voiceovers for today's video instead of putting my face in the corner. I don't want to cover any of this game because this is very different from what we've seen from play to earn games so far. This is an actual full fun to play game. In fact, I would go so far as to say that if their goal was to just make a mobile game, that this is effectively ready for the App Store. I have absolutely downloaded more than one games in this genre, and they have been way buggier and way less polished than what we're about to see. So let's jump right in. All right, up first we have the Brimstone dungeon number 2. What you just saw was the victory screen from Brimstone number 1. And here we go, jumping into stage number 2. Now, as you can see, I am playing as Morax right now. And currently, at this stage, Morax is the only rare character that we have merged so far. A little bit later, I will show you the system for getting rare and above heroes, as you're going to start out with a fully common team at the very beginning. But even with only one rare hero and the rest commons, you can see we are driving right through this stage. Now, partially because we're a little bit over leveled at this point, I have cleared the next several stages at least once, but it's in a game like this, you're going to be going back and replaying other stages multiple times for a whole bunch of reasons. Yes, that will be a little bit grindy, but that is part of this style of mobile game and should be expected. Now, that said, I'm only over leveled a little bit, and you can see how quickly we drove through that stage. Now, I should point out that we've been told the difficulty level here has been scaled specifically for the pre-alpha demo, which means they're keeping in mind that we're only going to be playing for a couple of weeks, and we're only going to have a little bit of time to actually level and build up our characters. So when we get to this stage in the full final game, expect it to be a little bit harder. Either way, the scaling is likely going to be much slower. You'll notice that my heroes are already into their 20s. Morax is almost caught up to 20 himself, and there's no way it's going to go that fast when we get to the full final product. But the other reason why I'm playing Morax here is that his special ability is really fun. It's an AoE attack. But he's also stacking up armor through his passive ability by killing all of these enemies nearby him. And so because of those combination of things, he's able to fire off his passive relatively quickly. It does seem to do quite a lot of damage, and it's really fun and easy to control. When I was playing with some other characters that had more directional ultimate attacks, one thing that I did find a little bit more challenging was actually aiming those attacks and hitting the intended targets. Now, that is almost 100% because it was day one of playing the game and I was still getting used to the controls. But it is a bit simpler when you're working with an AoE attack like Morax brings to the table. So here we load up stage number 4, and this is where things get quite a bit dicey. I fully admit that this is not a good run on this level, and you're going to see some challenges, but I thought it was a good one to share for exactly that reason, because we're not all going to be pros the first time we play through this, and it's important to see what the challenge looks like. So at this point, we got through one stage. I've already lost one of my heroes, and the other 2 NPC heroes are both pretty close to dead, and they're not going to last much longer either. We get through this stage, but it's just me. Now you get to see the power of Morax. Now, there's a little bit of clever dodging going on here, plus the ultimate ability, but he's able to take out these big spider mini-bosses pretty much all by himself. There was some smaller spiders there at the same time, right at the beginning as well. So he handled quite a lot there all by himself and is still in pretty good shape. Now, I believe that is due to his armor passive ability, but you're going to see he lasts a pretty long time. I'll spoil it for you. He's not going to finish the entire level by himself, but you can see just how long he lasts. Against these wizards, they have a lot of trouble getting off any actual attacks, so while it is very slow that he's taking him down, he's not really taking any very much damage as he's going through. He is taking some, but we get through that stage, and now we get trapped by a couple of spiders. Luckily, we've got the ultimate ready, and Morax is going to kind of get through this section. He does finish off one of the spiders, but this is where he meets his end. So he gets off another ultimate ability. Before then, I try to be a little bit clever here and dodge. We do actually kill the spider, but he kills us also. They do give you a revive. So when you revive, you bring back your entire team. This is the final section, and you can see there is a huge barrage of projectiles and ranged attacks. The mistake I made there was not trying to take out those archers first. They did a lot of damage to my newly revived team right away. So you can get through this section much cleaner than what I do here, but we are able to finish and make it to the end, but just barely, as you can see. Okay, so that wraps up the dungeon section and the actual gameplay portion. Now I'm going to spend the next about 4 minutes or so going through the user interface to show you what's there today and some of the character progression that is available. But before I hit play again, let's take a look at the victory screen here, because we didn't really take that much time to look at any of them while we were playing. Couple of things to note: the Brimstone 2 and 3, we finished both of those in about a minute. Brimstone 4 took us nearly 3 minutes. So that is a good snapshot of the range of difficulty. Brimstone 4 is considered one of the more difficult stages. 2 and 3 are not. And so expect something like 1.5 to 3 minutes for a typical stage in the game, at least based on the pre-alpha demo. You can see here that it is tracking our character experience. My common heroes are now up to level 23 at this point. Morax just hit level 19. Also showing you the gear and currency that dropped. Now that gem that you see 15 of, that is in-game gems for the demo. They're not GOG gems that are tradable. There are 3 equipment pieces that dropped. We can't see any details about it from this screen, but it also gives us a few stats. Number of enemies we killed, combos, ultimates used. Health restored is at 0, which is interesting because I thought I had some health regen stats on my characters, but either I've mistaken or they are not working properly. But let's continue through the UI demo. One of the things that definitely needs to be improved is when you are looking at the barracks, and we're going to check that section out a little bit later. Here I have 75 gems available to do 3 summons, and quite honestly these are not exciting at all because they are only the common heroes that you can pull from these. So at this point we are just trying to stack up a bunch of those heroes so that we can merge them a little bit later. But here we are going to take a look at my current squad, and this is the barracks that I have built. And that first bit of feedback is that we need to be able to see the stats of the equipment that we currently have equipped. So you can see as I click on different crewed helmets, it's showing me the various ones in my inventory. There's no way for me to see the stats of what I've got currently equipped though, so I kind of have to put something on and then go back and try to figure out which one was the one that I took off, but they all have the same name and the same icon, and they're difficult to differentiate besides memorizing the stats attached to them. So that piece needs some work for sure, but that is quite obvious, and I'm sure just about everybody will note that in the exit survey that eventually does come. But as you can see, there are quite a lot of different stats involved, and that we are going to be able to build some really interesting characters. Now, we are just seeing the crude version so far. Perhaps a little bit later in the demo we will get some more advanced gear pieces, but I'm at this point suspecting that's not going to be the case. Expect the gear system to be quite a bit larger when we get to the full version of the game, and for it to be quite a lot more complicated, especially as we progress further into the game, because that's going to keep things interesting. Now, here I am showing you some of the gear on Zalathar, which is one of the common heroes. Something else I should note is that fatigue is currently turned off. The -5 hexagon energy symbol that you see there is notating the fatigue. However, when you first start playing, it goes down to 5 and then it never updates. It doesn't matter because they've got that feature turned off for the demo, but that is going to be something else that we have to manage in the full version of the game, and that specifically is what the energy booster token is going to help with. So I think that one thing that this demo is highlighting here is that the limited energy that you get from the game is precious, and anything that can boost that is really, really valuable in my opinion. So I am likely going to pick up more energy boosters after this. But here is the merging screen, and I was just going to show this to you, but I actually have enough heroes here to do a merge, so we're going to do that. One thing that you should note if you're playing the demo yourself is keep in mind how many heroes this is going to leave you with. I've heard several people got to the 8 required, did their merge, and then realized that that left them with only 1 hero for their entire squad, which sent them back to level 1, I'm sure. But here we pulled Tomo, and she is a new addition to our team. That was likely to happen because Morax was our only rare character, but happy to get her. And now I am going to actually go back a little bit further and do some earlier stages to grind up Tomo and get some good gear pieces for her. Here we check her out real quick. You'll notice that her fatigue is not -5 yet because she's brand new. It'll be there very shortly. But I'm just going to throw some equipment on her really quick, and then she will be ready to start playing with. And that wraps up our Guild of Guardians pre-alpha demo gameplay video. I hope you found this entertaining and useful. If you did, consider giving us a follow on Twitter. That's where I love to interact with my fans, answer questions, and talk about play-to-earn gaming. Also, help support the channel by hitting that like and subscribe button for us.